Morning, Dhanushka.
Morning. Yep.
How are you?
Good. So today we are going to discuss about our great experience what we had 2 weeks back at Sarvodaya, and then I think it's a story that we should tell everyone.
Well,
And everyone
let's
should
start
know.
then. Well, recently we took our specially made co-banking system to be implemented in the southern part of Sri Lanka, especially this place called Kapunawala and also Porathope. So
And this was Sarvodaya Shramadana Societies.
that was Sarvodaya Shramadana Society.
Yes. There have been about 5,000 societies, and currently it's about active 1,000 societies. So these guys have been working everything manually, and then we have been engaged with them for the last 2 years to understand the operation, how it's been happening, and what are the limitations and how to get it digitalized. So that's how all of this began. And 1 week back, what we saw is the outcome of it.
That's great because I was there with Dhanushka, experiencing this whole thing, and it was great because when we started listening to these people and their courageous background building these societies up from basically nothing. Remember that story that lady was talking about
the
how
Kapunawala. The Pingvi.
That's an amazing story because when they wanted to start the Sarvodaya Shramadana Society, they didn't have money.
Yeah.
So what did they do?
They went out to the community and collected the paddy. Basically, people donated paddy for them, and they took the paddy and they sold it and raised capital.
Wow.
And now they are about 25 years old society. Have about 50 million in capital with them. Out of some have been invested in stock market.
Well, there you go. So this is really financial empowerment. It was not given to them by a government or politician. They basically made it. So they empowered not only a little community, they empowered an entire village because of that.
Yeah, and then of course we should not forget, the beginning of Sarvodaya, I think, is A.T.R. Ratna, the visionary founder of this movement. And a movement had become to the next level of giving a financial inclusion to this non-banking sector. It's just, when you go and see the story, when you see the people and then the activities, what they do and how they contribute to their society, it's just it's next level of experience.
Well, you're right, because everyone talks about financial inclusion and the great work of Dr. Yunus Khan and people like that. But what people don't realize is that financial inclusion has been rooted in the Sri Lankan village financial system since 1950s. So greats like Mr. A.T.R. Ratna, what he has done, getting an entire village community of the entire country together and building a very strong community group to stand for themselves is something to be proud of.
I know you started this before me getting to the picture. So how was that? Going to them, seeing what they're doing, and thinking like how a platform like Ikoru can fit in. Do you really thought Ikoru can fit in something?
No. So I was there 2 years ago. Well, actually more than 2 years ago. When I went there, what I saw was a very organized system, but everything was done manually. So remember that when we were having a conversation, especially in Porathope, that they had 3 floods in 1 year.
They're prone for floods.
Yeah.
When Nilvalaganga, get hit from some other place, even the Porathope does not have rain, they get flooded.
Well, there was this story that one person said that there was an ATM that's close to it. I don't know if it's functioning or not, but they said even they saw that the currency was basically infested with worms.
Yeah.
So that was an amazing story. So just imagine that all the ledgers that they have maintained for all over the years, that it just gets wet. And all that work, all the customer details, all the loans that they have given gets destroyed. So then what happened?
Yeah, they go back to the square one. But then again, one thing I also saw, they were doing a lot of things manually, so there were a lot of errors in calculation and things like that as well. Where I saw that, as a society, members they also lose, and then again the society who provide this finance where end of the day all their profit for the members. So in general they lose because of these little human errors that happens.
Yeah.
So I mean, when we just explained them how the system works and all that, I mean, they were pretty impressed and they were saying, okay, fine, okay, this is what we want to go with.
So that's a great point to start with, because we had the option to take our famous Ikoru core banking system and just place it there and let it run. But that was not to be. Because what we did over the last 2 years or 2.5 years, we studied each and every workflow that they're going through, their processes, how they interact with customers. Then with that learning that we had, we been there, we seen it, we understood, we spoke to them. Then we did an entire rebuild of our core banking system to fit in with the exact processes of the Shramadana Societies.
Yeah, this will be a co-banking that has welfare activities in it.
Correct.
Even though we definitely agree, I mean, a co-bank should not have any of those. But I mean, this was an exceptional case because there is so much of need for a system like that for a community like them, and we know how much we are going to empower them by having a digital platform given to them.
Good word, empowerment. Because as a company, FINAP is always making sure that we are focused on our sustainability and with our work with our FINAP by Fin, as you know, and we are really ESG focused, and we have our commitments to the society that we basically put forward. Right?
Yeah.
So everything that they do. So if you take UN Sustainable Development Goals, it starts with no poverty. So what better way to start this and give real meaning to this no poverty from the village level?
Yeah, I can remember like at the opening when or the launch when Dr. Aryatna came, the son of the founder, that he was mentioning that I mean his father spoke about one day he would like to see this movement, the movement itself, not about only the financial part of it, getting digitalized. And then we having this system being implemented, it's more like laying the foundation stone for the whole that vision to get digitalized.
Exactly, because seeing how everything that was done manually is getting done with one keystroke, it's getting recorded. No records getting destroyed by any floods or any other event, and they can recall it. And efficiency that was brought in to these things, whilst preserving the culture and how they basically operate, is basically heartwarming to see.
We are being able to give them a platform with basically kind of zero cost because it runs on cloud. So there are like minimalistic investments they have done. So I think that was another great achievement.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like every society want to come on board and get it going now. So
and how was the reaction from the customers?
They were really happy. I mean, they feel like now they are really working with the real banks.
There you go.
You get the passbook printed and the application getting printed and coming and just signing off manually. But all that being like a real bank experience they get.
So this is really taking the village to the main street, and in a way taking Main Street to the village, but making sure that everything is done with preserving the culture.
Yeah, but eventually, I mean, when we get this, the SMS gateways connected to them as well, and then the members will have their balances on the phone.
Exactly. We are pretty happy with that.
Can you remember, like, you were doing a study, I think you were talking to me about this long time back, and even you did a thesis on your doctorate about nano finance, finance inclusion in grassroots level, and so on. So with this Sarvodaya, I think it was kind of part of it, right? I mean, it went to that the micro level of it.
You're right. So I was doing this study or research as part of my thesis build. So it was my focus to really find out how technology is actually creating an impact at the village level. So I managed to interview around 50 microfinance institutes and around 100 users of the microfinance institutes. What I learned out of these things is just amazing. Because technology, while that we have 120% penetration of the mobile phones in Sri Lanka, 98% penetration of the signals in Sri Lanka, only around 40 to 50% people are really empowered by the financial system. So at the same time, they were trusting these microfinance institutes and even the village lenders much more than the banks that are basically
Yeah,
huge.
you're right, because if I look at it, when I went to the records of these societies, I mean, the NPL was very low than the standard market, even in the commercial bank level.
Yes.
So they have a lot of trust among the community, and so they make sure that they somehow go and do the repayments and keep it to their commitments.
That's a great point, because societies such as Sarvodaya, it's not about the rich people, it's not about the can-do, it's about everyone. So it is about the young kid, the young kid who's basically starting to understand what money is, all the way their journey up to a person that becomes responsible in the village. So the society empowers them.
Yeah.
So that is the kids, the women, the farmers, everyone. So it's an entire inclusion.
Yeah, speaking of women, I can remember like one experience that we were at Kurunagala, further down from Kurunagala. There was a society run by all women, and just it's about 5 members who were there, like the head committee, and they were having a lot of programs running for the community. And it's all women empowered, and it's about almost 50 all members of women as well, housewives, and then there were ladies who are running business entrepreneurs, and then that was a community of ladies got together and running a finance operation.
So you might basically wonder, as our director COO, as in why are we basically putting so much effort into the grassroots level digitalization? Why do you think we do that?
Because that's where you can give the real empowerment.
Exactly right. Because as a company, we are a fintech company. So what we have been doing up to now is to make sure that the technology that we build are built for a purpose. So profit comes always next. So if we make sure that these are built for a purpose, for actual purpose that will be used to empower the people, it will automatically become used by many, and it will empower a country.
Yeah. I think by having this platform being integrated with Sarvodaya, the societies, now societies has a way of communicating with the real world, that they will be given a lot of investment opportunities as well through the outside world with that, and giving visibility for all the members at any given point of time, how healthy their societies are. I mean, they have always been healthy. This capital existing for 25 years. I mean, that's more than some finance companies have existed in Sri Lanka. So, I mean, that's the trust, and that's how they value it. I mean, it's more than lending and borrowing. It's about community value and then keeping things together. That's about believing. I think that's what it should be when it comes to getting engaged with finance and going on.
Yeah. So, well, as leader of this business, I'm very happy that our entire team, we are on this journey to make sure that that we really go on this empowerment journey, and we live by the values of the company. That is to make sure to build strength and trust in the communities through simplicity, and I think we have achieved that with
I think this was also kind of the vision that we have when we came up with 6, which will even go to the next level of reaching out to the grassroots level of people to give the ability to reach out to finance.
Yeah, definitely. So finally, I would like to say, just on this topic, that while Sarvodaya has really shown the world what real financial inclusion is, as a company, that we have been the enabler of that to get them from a manual to a digital world. So we are pretty happy with that.